Yes, my Straight Talk family, is that time on a Thursday night when I should be saying a very pleasant night to the world, and a very pleasant night in particular to the Straight Talk family in St. Kitts and Nevis and throughout the entire Caribbean region. To my Straight Talk family, wherever you are in the Kittitian and Nevisian diaspora, I say greetings and welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. And I want to welcome our first-timers, because we always have first-timers, and I'm eternally grateful to those who continue to share the link. Don't stop sharing that link, because we need as many people on board to get the true story of what's happening here in our neck of the woods. And for the first timers, I wish to inform you, I must inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We also try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And I always find it imperative to remind you that as your host, I will remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I am always reminded by a favorite hymn of mine, parts of which goes like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let us seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. My Straight Talk family, I can say without fear of contradiction that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program to make it more interesting. Not by omission or by exaggeration. Because Straight Talk is not about sensationalism or creating excitement, especially at the expense, I'm going to say, of accuracy. Because we always lean on the facts, as I consider it my duty to always present the plain truth. You will hear me say the unvarnished truth, especially when it comes to governance in our beloved country of St. Kitts and Nevis. And through this program, we are joined together with people across our federation and in the diaspora all around the world. Some we know very well and have met them. Others we do not know, and many we will never meet, I'm sure. And I mean physically. Yes, we meet you spiritually and through this medium. But some will agree as well with the positions of truth that are advanced on Straight Talk, and others will obviously disagree. And that's okay, that's fine, because we promote diversity, we promote diverse views and expressions, because that's what we are. We are a different people, so we can't always agree. And if we all agree, we must ask ourselves what the hell is going on in our lives. But what will sadden me, my Straight Talk family, is when or if we start to become disagreeable. So let's just thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand. We all understand here in St. Kitts and Nevis how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And many of us are calling for unity, because that period of unity or a united people are coming as a one united party with several parts. That's a period in St. Kitts and Nevis that we will never forget. History will never allow us to forget that. So when the history books are written, it will record with asterisks the period 2015 to 2022. And something went wrong in 2022. And we know what went wrong. But welcome again, my Straight Talk family. Welcome again, my people. And thanks for those who share the link, as I said before, as you bring first-timers. Please continue to do so. And for the first-timers, I must also inform you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we entertain your calls and we entertain your emails. And if you're so minded to call, then the numbers are 663. Take a note, 663, but they are on your screen for those who keep asking. 663, that's our local number, and or 646-829-6672, that is our overseas number. Or for those who like the cloak of anonymity, as I call it, we provide you access via our email platform. And that email platform is Straight Talk, or that email address I should say, is Straight Talk Patches. That's one word, STRAIGHTTALK PATCHES @gmail.com. And I want to, as per usual, welcome my Straight Talk Junior Brigade, Dwayne, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Rue Costa over there in South Carolina, Jamal of Anguilla, and our latest enrolled brigade, Travis and Traban of Ponds Extension. Yes, I will continue to hail my special lady over there in St. Louis until we will meet her. We'll meet her right on this program, and I promise you, sooner rather than later. So wherever you are in the world, again, welcome my Straight Dog family, and it's another edition when we introduce what we call our participative program. And we normally consider our observations in review, after which I, as usual, present a short dissertation, or as I call it, I present my thesis. And the title of my thesis tonight is Mountain Debt, Deep Division, but No Plan. That's an assessment of the situation here in our beloved country of St. Kitts and Nevis. But our observations in review, to get back to that part of the program, they are an integral part of Straight Talk. And after which I will move into my thesis, as I mentioned earlier. Following my thesis, I will then include your calls and your emails, as mentioned earlier, in order to allow full participation, your full participation. And in respect of our observation in review, this is the time when we highlight the current issues and do some reflection. We may then ask a few questions, such as what was accomplished, how has it helped us, or how has it helped others, rather? What has changed since, and what can be expected next? And what new we have learned as a people, because it's all an educational journey over a 2-hour period every Monday and Thursday. We must learn something and teach each other something, because each one teaches one. And our first observation tonight, I refer to the members of the Jew Labor Administration who have managed to skillfully dodge the thorny issues of good governance since taking office almost 20 months ago. And no matter what you hear coming from the lying tongue of Terence Michael Drew, I cannot find any other word, but coming from the lying tongue of Terence Michael Drew, please, my Straight Talk family, take it with a grain of salt, because he said this just a few days ago, my Straight Talk family.
Thank, therefore, the Honorable Congress Maynard, who is the Minister of Infrastructure, Etal. I want to also thank the Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, the Honorable Marsha Henderson, Honorable Samuel Duggins, to thank our senators as well, A.G. Gad Wilkin, and to thank Minister Iselin Phillip and Minister Dr. Joy Clark, who are the cabinet. And sometimes we might have an extended cabinet that can include our ambassadors. But the main cabinet, I want to thank them for their hard work and really for practicing what they speak. And I support every member of my cabinet. If there are questions raised, I always look at it very seriously. And I look at it prudently, without rush and haste. And what I have uncovered is that they are really applying themselves to the integrity in public life.
And as I said, when you listen to Dr. Drew, you have to really sift through every word he utters, And you will agree with me, I'm certain, that you have to take everything he says with a grain of salt, to use a colloquial term. Now, Dr. Drew would make one believe that his colleagues are practicing, according to Dr. Drew, practicing what they speak. But his Attorney General, Garth Lucian Wilkin, broke the law, and that is well documented. And we have to continue to remind ourselves about that, because till this day, Garth Lucian Wilkin has shown no remorse, although he came out. You remember some time ago when he vomited at the Sniper Youth Forum. But just do a search. Do a search yourselves, my straight dog family, of the Eastern Caribbean, that is, I think, the Eastern Caribbean Court, or Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, to be exact. Just do a search of their records, and you will find that. You will find the judgment that's listed there under SKBHC CV 2023-005. Just do a search yourselves. Don't take my word, my straight dog family. Do a search yourselves. And when you examine that document of that judgment as listed on the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court e-portal, I think it's called. When you examine what the High Court Judge, Justice Tamara Gill, had to say, Justice Tamara Gill opined. Justice Tamara Gill opined, and read it for yourselves, my straight dog family. She opined that under clause 36 of her opinion, and we must remind ourselves about this, and it relates to the Social Security Act, section 45, subsection 1. And it reads, my straight dog family, any insured person or employer who fails to pay at or within the time prescribed for the purpose of any contribution which he or she is liable under this act to pay, shall for each such failure be liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $200 or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months, or to both. And it goes on. And I raise the matter because some two young businessmen, well-known businessmen, got 3 months in prison just a month or two ago. I don't know if they're still there, my straight dog family. But it continues under section 37. And you can read again for yourselves what the judge opined. And the judge opined that a social security payment after the time prescribed by the legislation constitutes a criminal offense whether or not the law is strictly enforced. So we can conclude that the learned judge has said that Attorney General Garth Lucian Wilkin and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs committed a criminal offense. And this is what the judge said about the current chief legal advisor to Dr. Drew. It's in the court records, my straight dog family. And I invite you again to Read it for yourselves, my Straight Dog family. Read it for yourselves. This is what the judge said about the current chief legal advisor to Dr. Drew and his cabinet. It reads, and I quote, "Accordingly, in my respectful view, Mr. Wilkin cannot properly seek to restrain Mr. Liburd or any other person referred to in the ex parte application from making any statement publicly or to any other person whatsoever in any way and by any media about Mr. Wilkin." That's Garth Lucian Wilkin. "With respect to his employment or association with a nanny, a babysitter or housekeeper, or about nanny gates, or any business matter Mr. Wilkin has or had with the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board." And this is interesting part of it I like. Mr. Wilkin's evidence reveals that over a 2-year period, he was in breach of the Social Security Act as it relates to the time within which payment should be made. This can be considered an aspect of navigate, which is true. And those are the words, not my words, the words of the learned judge, Justice Tamara Gill. And she said, my Straight Dog family, quite clear, that over a 2-year period, Attorney General Garth Lucian Wilkin, someone just said me, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, paid his nanny's social security contribution 3 times in over a 2-year period. Interestingly, the first time he paid was the day after he was elected or appointed president of the St. Kitts Nevis Bar Association. And we must talk about it, because till this day, Garth Lucian Wilkin has shown no remorse. And he walks with his head high in the road, doesn't even want to say good morning or good afternoon. And we must remind him that he broke the law. Months after, he failed to pay. And for months until the day before he was appointed Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, he failed to pay. But he ran to settle his bill the day before he was appointed to his current position as Chief Advisor to Prime Minister Drew and his cabinet. He failed to pay again, even after he was appointed as the Chief Legal Advisor to this Drew administration. But if you think that's bad, it gets worse. Because it is said that whenever a fish stinks, my Straight Dog family, whenever a fish stinks, it stinks from the head. And those of us from Fish Bay would have heard that adage growing up as young boys and girls. Whenever a fish stinks, it stinks from the head. So don't mind what Dr. Drew says about being subjected to the law. Don't mind what he says about being subjected to the law. He said that cabinet is not above the law. They are subjected to the law. But don't mind that, because Drew himself, my Straight Dog family, although he would say that his cabinet is subjected to the law, he said that his cabinet is subject to the law or not above the law. He said that, but don't mind what he said, because they said talk is cheap, but whiskey costs money. So don't be fooled when he come with his fancy talk about his members are subject to the law. They don't respect the rule of law. They rule by the law, my straight dog family. So when he says this, dismiss him.
And any member of my cabinet or the cabinet of St. Kitts and Nevis, they are not above the law. They have to be subjected to the law.
That's what he's saying. But don't believe him. Because Dr. Drew was first to transgress the law in the country just months after he took the oath of office as Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. He was the first, underline that, he was the first to break the law. Very first one to break the law, although he said they are not above the law. Dr. Drew started the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Museum in contravention of the procurement and administration law in this country, and he cannot deny it. So he broke the law, my straight dog family. He did.
Currently it's under construction, and we're hoping, really pushing to see if we can complete it by September 16th. I know that's a lofty goal, but we are really pushing. If not, definitely we want to complete it by this year. We expect it to cost in the region of maybe about $4 million because we want to build it out, make it a tourist attraction, create areas so that people can appreciate exactly how our first national hero would have lived, and to immortalize his life once and for all, and to convert his property into a place where tourists would visit, children would visit, all of us would be able to visit as we remember him for the tremendous work that he would have done. So his construction is going on, and to about maybe $4 million grand total at the end of the day.
And that was 2022. It should have been completed in September 2022 for the Robert Bradshaw Day, as it's called. But the construction costs suddenly jumped, my straight dog family, from $4 million to over $8 million. Just jumped. Never went through the procurement process. No approval by or from the Development Control and Planning Board. And he went jollily along. Look at him. He went for his visit at the said museum, my straight dog family. So, Dr. Drew, my straight dog family, from the time he assumed office, he started breaking the law. He established, I said this before, but it bears repeating. He established what seemed to be an arm of the Public Works Department in his office. In his very office. He appointed a project manager in the Prime Minister's office, my straight dog family. Then suddenly, all of a sudden, my straight dog family, all of a sudden, having appointed this project manager in the office or the Prime Minister's office, all of a sudden, the father of this project manager gets a sweetheart $5.8 million deal to purchase 1,000 water buckets, my straight dog family, which works out to $5,800 per bucket. Do you believe that, my straight dog family? We don't tell you lies on Straight Talk.
We have signed a contract to purchase water storage tanks. So at least when the water truck goes, they have a larger receptacle to store the water. I would also like to thank Mr. Ashley Allers, because he's the one who brought the idea.
So when he talks about integrity in public life and the rule of law, he rules by the law. So Terence Michael Drew has no moral authority, therefore, to speak about integrity in public life. And he has gave us some things to speak about or think about, because he even said that his cabinet members submitted most, he said, not all, most of the IPL forms, if I remember what he says. And let me find that so I don't misinform you, my Straight Dog family. My Straight Dog family, he said that all his cabinet members have applied and he has signed most of the forms. My Straight Dog family, he said this. He submitted mostly all the documents to be totally precise. And as I said, we don't fabricate things here on Straight Talk. We give you the facts. And why he would say that has derived questions in my mind, and should in your mind as well. When he said this, my Straight Talk family,
I have uncovered is that they are really applying themselves to the integrity in public life. And I want to say that they are submitting their documents, and we have submitted mostly all of our documents for the integrity in public life.
Most of the documents, he said, have been submitted, but yet he has not been specific, because we understand that at least one of his cabinet members have not declared his assets and or liabilities. But we will see what happens, because there's tomorrow the 26th is the deadline, according to Director of Public Prosecutions Adley Smith. And he said that after the deadline, he will proceed to prosecution on the 1st of February, to be exact, by Straight Talk family. But we'll wait and hold our breath to see how serious this DPP Adley Smith, how true he is to his word, because he said this, and tomorrow, my Straight Talk family, is the deadline. It should be confidential when it comes to filing, but this cannot be hidden from the public.
As the French speaks about the Section 30 offense, which they charge on, without a reasonable excuse or without a proper excuse, something for not filing the declaration. You can't say one. I know they say ignorance of the law is no excuse at the same time, but at the same time, maybe for some reason, some persons just may not have known. I know I was present in a commission where a particular person indicated, well, he just didn't know that he was supposed to have filed. And he didn't realize until the press conference. Right? So persons, we want to give them a fair opportunity, even with the last press conference. The last press release that I issued. Well, the only press release that I've issued. I said, I still, notwithstanding what I would have said last time, I still want to give one last chance. I believe people think that nothing is going to happen. I think the real test of what I'm saying will be on the 1st. Everybody will be watching for on the 1st of February to see if you file. And I say, it don't matter if you're in the Nevis Island Assembly, or if you're a member of Parliament, or if you are one of the names, one of the persons I want to call it, whether it be magistrate, whether it be registrar, whether it be member of statutory body, it don't matter. Right? I've gone to what I think considerable lengths to give you an opportunity in which to file.
What? On this questionnaire, powers this independent judicial officer has. The law is the law. You break the law, there's no chance. A young man went into a man's apartment. He got shot, we understood. He didn't get a chance. Not saying it was the right to shoot him. But these people continue to rape the treasury. A lot of them. Right in the Jew cabinet. And they do not deserve a chance, I say. My second observation relates to an institution, an icon, LIAT 1974, although it goes back some 67 years ago. I think we can go back to 1957, when I think it was Mr. DeLille who started this transportation service. DeLille, yes, I think DeLille is his name, who is a Kititian and started this service which moved into LIAT and eventually LIAT 1974. But it was announced just yesterday that LIAT 1974 would be coming to an end. Its closure was announced yesterday, thus bringing an end to an era spanning 50 years. Many of us scoffed at LIAT. We went to the airport anytime. We were late, unlike today in terms of transportation. So because we were late, and especially these government ministers, I remember a particular prime minister, I was waiting on the LIAT for about half an hour. And this prime minister ran onto the aircraft. I couldn't believe they had to wait on him. But we labeled LIAT, Leave Island Anytime. It was a label it earned, but as of now, the Leeward Islands Air Transport, as it is officially called, will not leave any island anytime, because this was announced just yesterday.
LIAT has formally declared the permanent cessation of its commercial flying operations effective January 24th, 2024. This decision, disclosed through a letter from LIAT Administrator Cleveland Seaforth, follows the airline's collapse in 2020 due to financial hardships exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. With over 90 employees informed of their redundancy, the termination will be effective from February 4th, 2024. Although immediate severance payments are not guaranteed, LIAT has assured its employees that obligations will be fulfilled, with entitlements provided within 45 days. This closure signifies the conclusion of an era for LIAT, a once devoted Caribbean carrier. Despite initial intentions for liquidation and reformation under LIAT 2020 Limited, persistent financial challenges compelled the gradual winding down of operations. As the curtains fall on LIAT, a symbol of regional connectivity facing insurmountable challenges, the Caribbean bids farewell to an airline that played a crucial role in the region's aviation landscape.
Yes, we all bid farewell to LIAT for the critical role it's played for 50 years as it relates to the air bridges that the islands still need. So that void must be filled, my Straight Talk family. So let us listen to the ministers of transport in the region, who I am sure by now should have all come to learn that you never miss the water until the well runs dry. And transport connectivity, I call it. It's important for the economic development and the social development as well of our Caribbean people. But transport is a derived demand, as I know it. It's, if there's no demand for movements between St. Kitts and Antigua, for example, then there's no need for transportation. But we'll wait and see what will become of this latest development. But those are my observations in review for tonight, my Straight Talk family. And I move right into my thesis for tonight, which I have titled, as mentioned earlier, Mountain Debt, Deep Division, but No Plan. Absolutely no plan, my Straight Talk family. And we ask ourselves, what will become of us as a country? And a lot has been said about the audit report for the fiscal year ending 2022. And imagine that's 2022 that we've heard about in 2023. And in 2024, we'll learn more about the mismanagement of the Treasury by the Jew administration. But a snapshot of the said report for 2022 tells us, my Straight Talk family, that the Jew administration spent $107 million more than it collected in 2022, resulting in the second largest deficit in 40 years, my Straight Talk family. It revealed as well that revenue in 2021 was $995 million, whereas expenditure was $887 million under the Harris Team Unity administration. And my mathematics is my strongest weak point, as I said, but that to me is a surplus. But compare 2022 under the Jew Labor administration. The government collected $1.13 billion thanks to the Team Unity first half performance. But it spent $1.238 billion. A huge deficit resulted. But a snapshot will also tell us that the net assets of our country decreased from $463 million in 2021 to $358 million in 2022. Our cash position, according to the report, declined by $103 million, putting pressure on our financial institutions. $43 million was budgeted to pay off debts, but the Jew administration only paid $24 million of that debt. The Office of the Prime Minister spent $31 million more than was budgeted in 2022. He came in and he went on a spending binge, hired almost 20 or 25 advisors. Advisor in music, advisor in this, special advisor like Appleton, and the list goes on. But the central government, I find this very interesting, my Straight Talk family. The central government debt stands at $638 million, while the Nevis Island administration debt stands at $460 million, 459.5. I took it to the nearest, $460 million. While the accumulated debt of the corporation stands at $498 million, with a substantial portion attributed to the corporations in Nevis. But think about it. St. Kitts Nevis has a population of about 48,000 people. And that's based on the latest United Nations estimates. Nevis, with a population of just over 12,000 persons or people, accounts for over 42% of the Federation's accumulated debt. 12,000 people in Nevis and a debt of $498 million. And it's gone past that because it's over $500 million, according to the finance minister over there, the snake Mark Brantley, his report to his legislative assembly in December. But my straight talk family, in 2015, along with 192 other countries, St. Kitts Nevis adopted the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, as an overarching policy roadmap through 2030. Now, these goals derive from the concept that economic growth must go hand in hand with social inclusion and protection of the environment if we are going to achieve a sustainable future. And you hear them in the parliament. No new taxes, the Minister of Finance boasted. So our main source of revenue comes from the lucrative trade in passports, non-tax revenue, that is. And this trade is forever under threat from the European Union, Canada, the USA, and the United Kingdom. Problems will therefore arise when debt is already high and these resources are not spent well. And worse yet, there is the presence of corruption, bad governance, lack of transparency, and no accountability. And then there is this division amongst all of us as a people. Politically, PAM hate Labour, Labour hate PAM, PAM hate PLP, and the list goes on. And Terence Drew declared very early, he declared this, my straight talk family. And when I heard him say this, I was baffled.
Timothy Harris was in the Labour Party, outside of politics or anything else. This is somebody who would be very difficult to sit down with to negotiate. And I know I cannot sit to negotiate with.
How naive can this be? He cannot sit down with Timothy Harris, but he takes his cabinet to Nevis to sit down and speak with the snake Mark Brantley. But he has no choice, I'm told, as his cabinet is so divided. Because no matter how he pretends, Dr. Drew disrespected Denzel Douglas. And Denzel Douglas will never forget Dr. Drew for that, my straight talk family. Never.
What is disrespectful to me is that people want me to go and contest with them. I am not contesting with anyone. It has never happened in our party before. For the 90 years of the party, no leader has been challenged in that way. And it is not going to start with me. If people can say that they would want me to support in that way for the extra 6 months, then I prefer not to be there. And so I ask you to consider what I have said. I wanted to clarify this matter because I think it is totally disrespectful when people are saying, oh, Douglas must go, Douglas wants to stay here forever. This is what is being said by our own comrades around. And I feel very, very disrespected when people will make statements of that kind. Of course, you can say you don't want Douglas. You can have someone else. But to say that I want to stay here forever and I must go on that kind of nonsense, I feel disrespected because I don't think it is necessary and I don't think it is true at all.
So Douglas can never forget Dr. Drew, who insisted that Douglas must go. He and his special advisor, Appleton. So there's a deep division in the party as the old Labour and the new Labour are at war. Douglas can never forget the snake Mark Brantley as well, who accused him of being arrested at Gatwick in London. The snake, Mark Brantley, said this about Douglas. Remember?
They say a passenger traveling outbound from Gatwick to Dubai on Emirates EK010 was detained with a large amount of cash. The passenger did not declare the cash. They ended up with a total of 78,000 US in cash, 9,000 pounds in cash, and 2,000 EC. Mr. Speaker, I have not been known to come in this house with foolishness, I don't practice that. This money was seized at Gatwick Airport under the provisions of the Proceeds of Crime Act. They said the passenger with the cash was identified through his passport as Mr. Denzel Llewellyn Douglas.
But Douglas will never forget the snake. And Douglas would never support the strategy of Drew in this new love affair with the snake Mark Brantley. Dr. Drew must take the advice from Dr. Douglas, who warned us long ago about the arrogance of the snake from number 9, my straight dog family. Dr. Douglas reminded us of his arrogance.
Only you have sense. Nobody else in this parliament has sense. It bothers me because there is no need for that kind of arrogance. He's the most intelligent person in the world. He's the most sensible person in the world. He's the richest parliamentarian in the world. It's a glimpse of the nature of the member for Nevis. Arrogant, pompous, talking down to people. And that's not a good attitude for a politician. You need to change your attitude. You need to stop talking ill of people.
Arrogant, pompous. That's how he referred to the snake, Mark Brantley. But through all of this, my straight dog family, the Drew Labour administration has no plan, no vision on the way forward. All Dr. Drew seems to possess, all he has is an addiction, it seems, to blame the Team Unity administration for all his shortcomings. As we speak, thousands of the poor people are not benefiting from the poverty alleviation program, even as we speak. Yes, the slow student ended the PAP program, my straight dog family. The slow student ended the PAP program in December 2022, my straight dog family.
I use this opportunity to indicate that all eligible existing recipients of the Poverty Alleviation Program PAP are mandated to reapply by completing the application form by December 16, 2022. Failure to do so would mean that your payment will cease effective December 31st, 2022. I wish to notify the general public that the mending of the PAP will commence from January 2023.
And how did the slow student mend the PAP, we may ask? And that's a fair question. And the response is simple. The slow student Jeffrey Hanley kicked 40% of those eligible to receive the $500. He kicked them off of the poverty alleviation program and has not replaced them till today.
We paid on the 30th of June, I'll get that number for you, 5,361 households are receiving PAP at this time. Remember, when we closed applications in December, 11,639 applied. Of that number, 8,985 were eligible. All right? And so that now, if you take 5,361 from that number, it's over 60% of the applications are being paid. I know for some persons being in the 40%, to them it's unfair.
Must be unfair, unconscionable, to say the least. People have qualified. So what's the rationale to kick them off? 40% of 8,000. Over 3,000 people kicked off the PAP. And then the slow student, Jeffrey Hanley, launched the largest housing development ever in St. Kitts Nevis. And he left out the poor people again, who are in the greatest need for shelter. He left them out, my straight dog family. Although he boasted about this contract that was signed.
Today, as the Minister responsible for housing and human settlement, I am pleased to formally announce that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and National Housing Corporation NHC has signed a contract with East Coast Housing Development, a Trinidadian-based developer, to finance and deliver 2,400 affordable smart homes over a period of 4 years, 600 of which will be made available each year.
Did you hear the slow student, my straight dog family? Did he say smart homes? Did he say affordable? Affordable smart homes? But let's just ask the aristocrat amongst them about these homes. And the aristocrat would tell us about the homes, my straight dog family.
This is the solution for persons who are bankable and can take a mortgage loan from a credit union or a bank, and they can purchase their one-bedroom house for $111,000, a two-bedroom for $213,000, and a three-bedroom for $497,000.
They are bankable. You have to be bankable, according to the disgraced Attorney General Garth Lucien Wilkin. Did he say $111,000 for the one bedroom? $213,000 for the two bedroom? And $297,000 for the three bedroom. But my straight dog family, if, just use this, or think about this, if the foot soldier is not bankable and cannot get $110,000 from the bank because he's not bankable, then where the hell would an ordinary poor man on a minimum wage get $111,000 to buy a one bedroom? But here is the dilemma. If he or she buys a $110,000 one-bedroom house. And we gone back to the days when house bigger day and smaller night. How many of us experienced that? That's some homework to do. Your house bigger day is smaller night. Because even the foot soldier could not get $110,000. Where this poor man gonna get $111,000 for a one-bedroom house? Where?
How much money Cosman going home with? It is alleged, and we could prove it, that Cosman is going home with almost, brace yourself, $110,000.
And that was not the soundbite I really wanted, though, my Straight Talk family. I wanted to play the soundbite where it worked out to, or rather that even the foot soldier was not bankable. But I'll get back to that. But in agriculture, it is worse, my Straight Talk family. We talk about food security, my Straight Talk family. We talk about food security. But what has Samuel Duggins done about the $200 million food import bill in almost 2 years? What has he done? Ask ourselves that question, my Straight Talk family. What has Samuel Duggins done about this $200 million
I see stakeholders
import
from
bill?
Different sectors. Some of you farmers, some of you bishop folk, some of you representing agencies that do research, some of you representing universities, some of you representing businesses that all thrive on the basis of agriculture. And if we take the time to understand that, we get down to the importance of why we're here today. And as we stand here today, talking about CARICOM's 25 by 2025 agenda, our food bill stands at $190+ million. And if we do a simple mathematical equation, we recognize that 25% of that is somewhere near 50 million. And the essence of what we are here discussing today is how we can share $50 million amongst all of them. My job here as the Minister of Agriculture is to ensure that that $50 million is going to you. But how do we do it?
That's the big question. How would that $50 million in the 25 by 25 program, 25% of the $200 million food import bill? And Samuel told us how. Because Samuel Duggins is confused like his boss, Terence Drew. Because he promised to grow money on trees. That's how we're going to address that situation at Straight Talk family.
Marijuana industry, as we have heard, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And we have been dragging at a snail's pace in getting involved. And I could not understand for the life of me why. Literally growing money on trees. But yet somehow, we don't want to participate. But I dare say, that era is over. And it's now a new day. And a better way. So in 2023, expect a vibrant, thriving marijuana industry. Literally growing money on trees.
He has a right to laugh, my Straight Talk family, because 2023 has gone and no money is growing on trees. The people can't find jobs, my Straight Talk family. They've launched a project, as I said on my last program, a boutique hotel project costing $100 million for 42 suites. $2.8 million for a suite. But my Straight Talk family, this is not a government founded on a vision to achieve specific goals, but rather founded on a vision to be in government by all means necessary, including lies, corruption, lack of transparency, and no accountability. And I dare submit that the sooner we can get rid of them, then we will be better able to address our frightening situation here in this situation, in the Federation, of mounting debt, deep division, but no plan. My Straight Talk family. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I will now, at 9 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour, I will entertain your calls and your emails. I will repeat the numbers: 663-6672 and our 646-829-6672. Our email address is straighttalkpatches@gmail.com. I always like to implore you, when I open the lines, and I'll do so momentarily, to respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. At 10 past the 9 o'clock hour, we go to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, my dear lady. I haven't heard this voice in a long time.
Belated.
Thank you very much. I that's an oversight. I must thank all those who extended birthday greetings to me yesterday. Yes, yesterday was my Earth Day, my Earth Strong, as we say. So I thank all those who extended birthday wishes. So thank you as well. It sounds like Alice in Wonderland.
You and 10 man in one.
What happened to 10 man in one?
I say you and 10 man in one birthday. How come that you invite me to Marriott to have a drink with you on your birthday?
Me, I can't afford Marriott. I can invite you. I can invite you by my passport.
Newton have shop. A drink is a drink.
All right.
You see all them money will float to Marriott with everybody a drink and a dime. Somebody got to pay for that. Something going up. Anyway, I want to thank God another ESP life. I can't hear you. Who could know the cheating and gyroid? Why can't call too? They always meeting me and they know the wrong and telling me they don't hear me. They don't have to hear me call in. I want to wish my cousin Vincent in Virginia and my best Prime Minister Timothy Harris God's blessing for the new year. And all they have done for me over the years, none could ever be like him. Just to come, feel that not so much, stay strong. When they pass in integrity, just a sham. They forget England and 10 man in one already. Let them study that, not Timothy and his brother. For the good they have done for St. Kitts, 7 years to 20. More big lives to come. The meeting only a sham. Nevis people don't want no bone, no pepper. Who don't make mistake? If only Timothy and his brother alone. Look so much they has done, and they're still ungrateful to them. You all did not want him. Why balling now? Another courthouse for people who put them there. The voters go to jail. Okay. I'll be back if I get in.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your intervention. We go straight back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello,
Good night, and how art thou?
I am peaceful. What about yourself?
I am all right, and belated birthday to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
And
my dear family.
what you say? Granny used to say when night come, womb make. What you say? Is that to say we're going to get the houses?
House bigger than smaller night, we say.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, Granny used to say, when night come, womb make.
Oh, when night come, room make. When night come,
yeah.
Okay. When night come, room make room then.
Room make, yeah.
When night come, room make. Okay.
Okay, and then the trees, the money trees, when they coming in.
Well, it was for 2023, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, so they leave the money down rotten then.
It seems so. Yes, my dear.
Well. Good night, cuz here.
Okay, my dear. Thanks.
Good night, cuz. My grandchild watch me tonight and tell me, Granny, how you look alike, you know?
Rue? That's Rue?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She said, Granny, how you look alike? I said, well, like we are cuz.
Okay.
Well,
keep it in the family. Keep it in the family, Rue.
We'll talk later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for calling. South Carolina in the house.
Yeah, later.
Okay, let's go. Let's go back to the lines. Now let's take this. I'm gonna interchange with the emails. Patches, you know, all them degrees, including the doctorate, the slow student touting and boasting about, can be purchased in the US, and it is the opinion of many that the doctorate is a fake. Reads that email. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good night, Patches. Good night.
Good night
to everyone who are listening. Patches, I want to tell you happy birthday, and I hope you enjoy your time with it.
Yes, I certainly. You have your equipment. You have your equipment in the background.
Oh, I thought I had muted. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Sorry, my rudeness.
That's okay. Thanks a lot.
Let me reiterate. I am going to jump straight to the poverty alleviation program when people who were on it from the previous administration, actually, I believe those who were on that program at that time, I think they were qualified. And moving into the new administration, I mean, to whom it may concern, which I think is Jeffrey Handling, and I hope he's listening. The poverty alleviation program was a necessity. And if you are qualified, this nothing to do with party line politically. This is the need and the qualification of a person. And I don't think that there should have been a deadline when to register. Let me give an example. When someone reached the age of Social Security to sustain benefit, to get benefits due to retirement, if upon their 62nd birthday, I think, in St. Kitts, in the state is 65. But until that person registers when they are qualified for such a thing, if they register after, say a month after, 6 months after, as long as they are qualified, they will be paid. So there would not be a back date to say, okay, I was 65 6 months ago, so pay me for the time I was retired. Okay? Moving forward, payment should be from the day you register, moving forward. So until today, if people who were qualified before and a deadline was put due to the fact that they didn't get to register on the deadline, even up to today, they should be liable to register because it's their fault not to register that time. So to have a deadline, that means the need of the people will be very hard because they miss something. They're missing something moving forward that they should be qualified for. So I believe when they were kicked off, is due to the fact that they didn't register for that deadline. But I think that deadline should not have been, and it would be taken into consideration on the day they register moving forward. So I think that is wrong, and they didn't look at the aftermath, because they're going to be lash coming from all over. All who qualify for the PAP program, they should be allowed to register rather than to wait until another time come around to register. Social Security, you get on it when you qualify, moving forward. This is not like a child going to school and deadline registration start from, I'm going to be cut off. This is not that. This is life. This is a necessity for people's survival. Thank you. I just wanted to touch on that because I really studied. They should raise that deadline and let get on it who qualify, because it's a need, and it's, like I said, it's a necessity. Thank you for that time.
Thank you for your, thank you, caller, for your intervention. Just to clarify, though, that the report, according to I think she may be the peers, yes, in social development, Azila Clark. There were some 8,000 and more people qualified. Let me play that just so I don't misguide you.
We paid on the 30th of June. I'll get that number for you. 5,361 households are receiving PAP at this time. Remember, when we close applications in December, 11,639 applied. Of that number, 8,985 were eligible. All right? And so that now, if you take 5,361 from that number, it's over 60% of the applications are being paid. I know for some persons being in the 40%, to them it's unfair.
So you've heard that some 8,900 of the 12,000 that applied, some 8,900, call it 9,000, were applicable, if I can use that term. And out of that applicable amount, those who were qualified, only 5,361 are being paid. So 40,000 of them, 40%, I should say, of that amount are not being paid. And that is the difficulty that everyone should have. Ambassador Liburd reads this email. Boy, the harbor was looking very good today. Reads this email. With several tourist boats docked at the pier that you single-handedly designed, constructed and built as the Minister of Infrastructure. When one juxtaposes those ships that the Minister of Tourism, Lindsay Grant, had worked so hard over the years for them, to be here today alongside the pier, it is such a tremendous daring feat. It didn't matter the aspersions that the naysayers like Dwyer, Sam Drew, and the entire Labour cabal cast on the pier during the initial stages. It withstood the challenges, and so today the government can celebrate the new pier that Patches constructed. I know it is a hard pill to swallow, but facts are facts, and truth is truth. My only disappointment and regret is to see Grant clean the land for Monkey to play on. Let's go to the lines and thank this caller for holding the caller your live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Dr. Ian Patches Liburd.
How are you, my dear brother? Humble servant Patches. Servant Patches, that's me. Not doctor.
You don't want to? You don't want a doctorate?
No, doctor. No doctor.
Oh, you broke, so you can't buy your doctorate?
humble servant, my brother. Humble servant.
Happy belated, man. Happy belated.
Thank you, and happy belated to JJ as well, Joan.
Yeah, she right here peeping through the phone to see if she could see you.
Yes, my birth sister. Yes.
Yes. Well, let me say good evening to all the listeners and viewers of this wonderful, factual, truthful program. Lord of mercy, Patches, just two clips to play tonight here is enough to let everybody who undecided or who already jumped over the fence and got where them are to come back over and stand up for what is right. That is the clip with the snake when he exposed Douglas up in Gatwick, and when Douglas tell him what he got to say in Parliament. Them two clips alone will change people's mind if they forget what happening. Because that is, look, what happening up so in the Middle East, it is very contagious, and it will reach down here. Because what going on up there in the Middle East, a lot of people saying, well, it is injustice. Well, I ain't live up there, you are not up there, and we don't know really all the facts about it. But when people being wrongfully judged and injustice being passed on them, and the freedom of expression and the liberty of democracy has been trampled by dictators like what we got here in St. Kitts, things does happen. Lucifer, Judas, Jew, is a damn blasted liar. Everything come out of that man's mouth is lie. That is the reason why I went after him last week, Friday. You remember those 3 questions that I posed to him? When he said team unity ain't do nothing in 7 years. And when he come on to answer, he go talk about all kind of little small money thing what children in school ain't getting and all of that. Me ain't asking about them. I ask about the peer who built it. All he had to come out and say is unity build it. Don't come talking us chopping it about. Damn, the plan was there from the farmer at Labour administration. He lied. And then I went with Allwood back to him too again, and the same thing on the Mary Charles Hospital over here with the pharmacy. The pharmacist, he said, pregnant and one sick. As a doctor can say, a woman pregnant. So a woman pregnant for what? 17 months? But that man, they don't mash up St. Kitts. And all he gone in there to do, Patches, he was not a labor. And he is no labor. He using the word labor to fool people to get his long pocket them full up. He knows nothing how to run an organization, much less a country. He cannot even run a bat and ball team, a bat and ball cricket team, and want to talk about he's a leader of a country. He do not even have the utterance of a leader. But anyway, Patches, I want a lot of people get in tonight, so I'm going to come back to you. Hello.
I'm going to call you. You're not a fast bowler. You were spin bowling. And this listen to this one. This was a googly, right?
You keep saying that the administration before your administration haven't done anything in 7 years. Well, answer the question straight, please. Which administration building new road across Old Road Bay? And which administration building new cruise pier that we have in Bastille? Thank you very much, sir. Have a good day.
Yeah, that was a googly. Are you there?
Good night. Happy belated birthday, brother.
I thought I was hearing something.
I called 3 times yesterday.
You did?
First.
Oh, I am
yes,
so
and I ain't get no answer. How you do?
I am peaceful. I can just say,
enjoy your birthday?
Wonderful. I can say same to you. Same to you, my
yes,
sister.
I enjoy my Prime Minister take me out.
Wow.
Not Joe, no. Not Joe.
How's my other bird sister?
She all right. She
That's
went
good.
out with us.
Oh my gosh, you were living up, man. That's good. I hope it took you to where you wanted to go.
Yes.
Okay, my dear.
And call for whatever I want.
Oh wow. You had a good time. Thanks.
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't have one?
Oh yes. Certainly. It's our day.
Okay.
But nice to hear, though. Nice to hear, my dear. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I was wondering what I was hearing. I didn't realize that I thought there's somebody.
Yeah, Budget, I'm here.
Yes.
I forget to greet Mr. Straight Talk.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, he's looking for it, and I have to give it to him.
Okay.
And Mr. Sloyd Wine and Nabo, and all who listening. Okay. But I'll come back, Patches.
Okay.
We got to shove down Joe, and he cabal them and he snake them.
Okay.
I'm coming back at this snake, man.
Okay. Have yourself a good night in the meanwhile, my brother.
Yeah, this is what going to help bring them down.
Okay. Offside. Okay, my brother. This very short message. Good evening, Patches. How are you? George Langley. George, is this the George I know who took the saltfish from B's pot in Toronto? Well, if it's you, George, I heard you were sick, so it's good to hear from you, my dear brother. And trust that all is well and you have recovered well. But I will never forget that saltfish you blamed me for that night or that morning in Toronto, if you're listening, George. But my Straight Talk family, it's 9:29. If you have just joined me, tonight we looked at our thesis. Our thesis for tonight, for those who may have just joined me, we titled Mountain Debt, Deep Division, but no plan. Absolutely no plan. And I tried to make the point that we, as a signatory, we did in fact sign on to I first of all, I must say, looked at the debt. And much was said about the audit report for the fiscal year ending 2022. And we'll ask ourselves each time, why 2022? Because we're now in 2023 going on to 2024. But with no disrespect to my accountant friends, Straight Talk friends, accountants drive the car in the rearview mirror. So in 2023, we learn about 2022, and in 2024, come December, we will learn about 2023. But it spoke about the reckless spending of this new administration. And that gave us the largest deficit in 40 years. Revenue in 2021, according to the audit report, was $995 million, whereas expenditure was $887. And that gives us a surplus of $108 million, if my maths are accurate. But compare 2022 under this Jew Labour administration. The government collected $1.13 billion. And thanks to the Team Unity administration and its first half performance. But this man came in and started to spend like a drunken sailor and spent $1.23 billion and provided this huge deficit. We looked at the cash or the net assets of our country. We looked at the cash position, which declined. We look at the under-servicing of our debt and the expenditure within the Prime Minister's office. But I'll get back to that, my Street Talk family, as I thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller?
Mr. Liburd.
Yes, my dear.
On Sunday program, Manners was talking about different things. He was saying a big boat is coming. They must invite the opposition, especially Mr. Grant. We know they're not going to do that. A lady called in and said it's government they belongs to. But she forget all governments still alike. I call in and say it's true. But it's you patches why the peer, there, and other things that they're claiming. So all them boats coming in, they want to claim the boat and they still want to claim the peer. Mr. Grant bringing big boats already and $1 million. So what they want to claim is nothing new. Mr. Grant should have never follow Fair Share and the others to see where there is now. Who will be the opposition? I want to say to the PAM people, they was going so good. They want labor for 20 years again, with all they done do. And you all know what they has done. It's not Timothy have you all there. It's Fair Share. See where he is now. Hands in gloves. Consider the way forward. Please, we cannot take them. Because they're going like button cattle. Have a good night.
Have a good night, my dear.
Culture and Nabu. I can't hear all you, but I know you have a good, prosperous new year. Blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. Alice in Wonderland. And just for those who would peddle what I call nonsense about labor and the peer. Yes, it is a fact that labor in 20 years failed to build the peer. And they came very close to it. Because, and I'm going to speak some more about this peer that the claim was spoiled. But it's so ripe now that everyone's running to it. But I remember Ricky Skerritt, the then Minister of Tourism, convened this breakfast meeting to sign this wonderful agreement. And here's what Ricky Skerritt said back then in 2014.
This is a project that has been undergoing significant discussion and negotiation for a very long time, for several months, and a certain timetable had been set, which included a signing for today. As I speak right now, the parties are upstairs, still going through some of the legal shenanigans. That is how lawyers work. None of us in here can control that, and unfortunately, there have been significant delays this morning in terms of fine-tuning and making sure that everybody's comfortable. I cannot guarantee that those experts in the law will all come to the same page at the same time by the time we finish this breakfast. I just wanted to alert you that the fact that the Prime Minister is here, the fact that I am here, the fact that all of you are here is a very positive development. And even if the signatures do not get put on the actual agreement this morning, nothing will stop this project from going forward.
Tourism Minister Richard Skerritt.
Yes, but what stopped it? Because the barges pulled out. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Are you there, caller?
Yes, Pat is a voice here. Good evening.
How are thou, my dear lady? Good evening.
I'm fine, thank you. Happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And also for Joan.
Joan, my sister Joan. Yes.
And I want to send happy birthday for my son tomorrow.
Okay.
He's in Antigua, celebrating his birthday tomorrow. So I want to wish him all the best and his birthday. Yes, so Patrick.
Yes.
Yes. His name is Gavin Henry. Gavin, happy birthday when you come tomorrow.
Okay, we wish Davin Henry happy birthday as well from Straight Talk.
Yeah. Okay. That is what I call him to speak about. I am a Kayan woman, born and raised in Kayan. Not because I come town, come live. I still looking out for Kayan. And that is my burning life. The doctor need to understand that the doctor say he's feeding Kayan people them. And the food cooked between Bastia and Monkey Hill to send over to feed the Kayan people them. And he's a psychopath bringing the food for the people them. If he want to feed Kayan people them, he get somebody to cook the food and send over the food with somebody who capable, sensible, and what's not a psychopath. So if he's going to feed Kayan people them, I would like him to feed Kayan people them good. Because when you see that starting Kayan, they don't come out easy. So we don't want nothing from the food because the food is putting down all bout. Where the psychopath go, drink, smoke, and bad water. That's where the food are. And the people them just get the food very, very, very late. I talking because I have family over there. And I wouldn't like my family them to get that food here, what they're sending over there to feed Kayan people with. Kayan, send good people, send good food for Kayan people. And if you want to say you're feeding Kayan people, them not to the psychopath. You know, envy. He is who carrying over the food for Kayan people them to eat. So, Pati,
okay.
I am going to wish you all the best on the latest birthday and have a pleasant good evening. Let them look after Kayan people good. We ain't no watching come. If he say he go feed Kayan people, let he send good food, send good people to carry the food over there for the people them and not no psychopath. You have a pleasant night.
I can see your dimples, my dear. Have a pleasant night as well. Okay. That's the Keon lady living in the village. My Straight Talk family, it's 20 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. If you are joining me for the first time, Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday from 8 to 10 in the PM. We include your calls, we include your emails. So I go straight back to the lines and say, good night, caller, you're live.
Good evening and happy belated 25th birthday.
27, man, 27. What's happened to you?
You're 27 now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I missed 2 years, man.
You missed 2 years.
Yeah, because I remember I changed your diaper many times. So.
Yeah, you missed 2 years. I got you.
All people entitled to forget a little thing now and again.
Okay, my brother.
Mr. Joe and this money thing. I remember shortly after the government changed in August of 2022, Mr. Joe, the Minister of Finance, who has no financial background, came on the radio or something at the start of press conference and talked about how much debt did the country in the red and all kind of thing.
Yes, the red, yes.
And then Timothy Harris came on about a week later and addressed that stupid statement. And Jew never mentioned it again.
Right.
It's like Timothy Harris put him in the place.
Right.
Because he then began to understand money. He learned to count. But I am concerned though, because if he got half a year, because based on what Timothy Harris said, there was a fair amount of money left there up until August 2022. And if he ended up in deficit in 2022, I mean, he did a hell of a lot of spending
for that particular year. I remember every weekend he and a whole gang gone some part of the world. Not to mention the fair share of the daily allowance and all kind of thing. But I am fighting for 2023 because when Jew does stupidness, all of us have to pay for it in the long run. I remember a previous prime minister, his first name was Denzel. He ran up some serious debt for the country, and we all had to pay for it because he had to end up with the IMF. And I'm just hoping that Mr. Jew does not make friends with the IMF again like Douglas did and cause a lot of stress on the people of St. Kitts. I just think like the IMF and so they brought VAT and so into the country. Not only that, but the IMF also forced a lot of people to work because the pensionable age went from 60-something for civil service down to 55. Put a lot of people in the street long before they were supposed to be in the street. So people suffered because of stupidness of prime ministers. And I hope Mr. Jew keeps on his head, if he has a head at all, and is be responsible financially. Get advice. If you are calling Timothy Papers, and he have a lot of advisors. He could let go 1 or 2 advisors and pay Timothy some money to advise him how to spend his money. Because he really lost. And his loss is also our loss, unfortunately. We're going to have to pay for it. The poor man especially can ball out. Drew's salary is big, he not going to ball out. He good. Because his salary is helping to create this debt and create the invitation for the IMF to come in. But please, Mr. Patches, talk to your friend Terence Jew and ask him to stop spending the money like a crazy drunken man on a Saturday night. Thank you. Have a good night's rest.
Have a good night as well, my dear brother. Thanks for your involvement in Straight Talk all the time, anytime. And there are quite a lot of people are so misinformed or deliberately peddling nonsense about this new cruise pier and about SIDF and what was done. This was the arrangement back then, or the proposed arrangement, because it never went any place. And listen to this, my Straight Talk family, about the new cruise pier. Take some time and listen carefully.
The essence of the agreement is that Cashman Incorporated will establish in St. Kitts and Nevis a company called Cruise Port Development Limited that will construct the new pier. The construction cost of the pier and upland works will be in the region of US 31 million. Cruise Port Development Limited will be responsible for raising all of the financing required to construct the pier. SCASPA will not be responsible for financing any portion of this amount. SCASPA will obtain the riparian and seabed rights from the Urban Development Corporation for the area where the pier will be built and grant a 30-year lease to Cruise Port Development Limited to construct the pier. SCASPA will have no financial obligation with respect to the construction of the new pier other than to collect head taxes from passengers, deposit these amounts in accounts, and payment will be made to both the developer and SCASPA in accordance with the revenue sharing arrangement.
And that's just a snapshot of what was proposed. And SCASPA would not have owned the pier for 30 years. But I will give you some more details in a subsequent program. So people who are talking about the pier, please stop talking about ignorance or from a point of ignorance. Please stop it. I beg you. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yeah. Hello, Patches.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Let me say it real quick here. Now, Gene Lego a bounce up and a googly. He's a good bowler. But Patches, let me tell you something. Things are so hard and rough in St. Kitts that you can see it in the bus transportation things rough. The busman them, all of them now on the road hustling, you know. A lot of them ain't going in the bus terminal up east. Go waiting there because they're in there and nobody coming in, nobody got no money to travel in the bus. So they got to stay out on the road and do a little hustling they can do. And that man there, like Gene said, remind us, you know, he said when he went in the first boat, country is in red. Country in red, but every week, they go on somewhere and entourage of them. Country in red, and the first set of gang of people he take out of here with the country in red money. 15 of them went away where he used to be Patches, up in New York, in United Nations. And it's a country in red, and he going touring all over the place. But you know where he going all over the place, up? Every time he rides up in a plane, even if the plane just go around, sink it and come back and land, he getting traveling allowance. All the perks he getting for that. That man there, now come to the food. Patches, people got to be careful with food. Everybody a ball out now, but this person can't cook and that person can't cook. And then, according to the caller, you got to give somebody who has a health card to cook food for people. Never mind to distribute food. And nobody who smoke cigarettes supposed to be smoking on a pot when they're cooking. And sit down by in a rum shop and drink. Look, this snake in Nevis accusing people, government people, them say that they don't, who ain't don't tongue a drink rum and that kind of thing. They come down here and see who drinking rum with taxpayers' money. What foolishness they doing? This thing about the what they call them, the tick up them, what they give out. A friend of mine called me, tell me, boy, them think they don't waste of time. He said the wind, the strong wind, when we get here, blood on, he went in the yard. And he don't start to throw out anybody, wind throw it down. So long, the seller say he gonna bring somebody here to install the stand to put them on and pump and everything to none go come yet. But anyway, Patches, time short. Play them clip the lady, them clip let everybody hear how worthless and bad this cabal Mickey Mouse government is. He telling too much of lies. And he need to give up. Move from there. We can move you down from there because we're working hard to move you, Joe. You and your cabal, them all are you in the front. It's to full up long pocket and tell lies. But your cabinet is intact and they're living up to integrity in public life. That is good night.
Good night, my dear brother. Patches, Dr. Drew must think we're stupid. Reads this email. He said all of the members of his cabinet are complying to the Integrity in Public Life Act. What a liar. 2 deadlines have already passed. This is the 3rd one coming up. I want to see what the DPP is going to do, for it seems like he just has a lot of chat and no action. I don't trust him or this government. I think when this deadline also passed and they have not complied, the DPP will say that they have all complied. He is going to cover for them. Reads this email. We trust and hope that will not be so. My Straight Talk family, as we start the process of winding down tonight's program, and for those who join me late again, we looked at our thesis tonight, Mountain Debt, Deep Division, but no plan. We looked at the debt owed by the Nevis Island Administration, according to the audit report. And Nevis, with 25% of our population, accounts for over 40%, 42% of the Federation's accumulated debt. But my Straight Talk family, as I wind down, but let's take this call before I start that process. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller?
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Patches, man. How you doing, man?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Basically, I just wanted to call in and say, happy belated birthday, man. Seeing that you're an Aquarius like I and I.
Yes, thank you. And your birthday is coming up soon, right?
Yeah, February 12th, man. I'll be 55.
Very
Yeah, I'll be 55 for those who care to know.
12 February.
Still a young whippersnapper though.
Oh yes, man. The president, your president is 80, right? Or 81? How is it?
Yeah, those guys getting over there. Maybe I'll be a late bloomer politician, man. Maybe by the time I'm retired from this side, I'll be a late bloomer politician like they are. So maybe expect me down in the federation at 65, because I doubt I'm gonna get that Bryant clause removed. So by then maybe I'll give up my American passport.
Okay, better to be late than never, my brother. Don't worry about that.
So just hold on the fort, man, until I get down there, all right?
Will do.
You hold on the fort until I get there.
Will do, my brother. I'm sure you'll make a better politician than the snake in Nevis.
You know, I'm a people person, man. I stay with the grassroots people, man.
Important.
Believe that.
Important, yes.
Yeah. Yes, and you know, bridging the gaps and the divides. But anyway, man, I want to just congratulate you, man, because, you know, it seems like you finally brought that national debt forward tonight. Did you?
Yes. Well, it's as of 2022, so it's gone up though.
It's still behind. You're still running a year behind.
Yes. The audit reports always a year behind, you know.
But still, I want to give you that for that, because remember I asked for that debt, national debt, some weeks ago.
Oh, you did. Okay. Well, I'm happy. I'm happy I did your homework, my brother.
Yeah, finally. So now I'm gonna give you another set of homework right now. Because you know I'm under corruption this year. So what I want to put out, what I want you to get some information on is like, I was listening to a program like last week Friday or something, and you know this Integrity in Public Life bill, and these guys that got to declare their assets. I think they were saying that the advisors don't have to declare. Is there any way you can get that information for us?
Advisors?
The advisors that the Prime Minister especially got around him, they don't have to declare the assets. Is there any way you can, you know, get that information for your listening audience? Me, because or if you got that knowledge now, you can let us know. I mean, if that's true or not. Or do they have to declare or not?
Well, there's a schedule attached to the legislation, and I
just need a straight answer, Patches. Yes or no? Do they have to declare or not?
I don't want to.
Then you can explain. Then you can explain if you have to.
No, but I'm not going to talk from a point of ignorance. I'm looking at the schedule. All right?
All right.
And the schedule.
Okay.
Does it say advisors? It doesn't say advisors. See it here? No. There's some 40. What am I saying here now? There's some 49. There's some 49 positions declared, right? I don't see advisors, but I see ambassadors, right?
Yeah, because I'm very concerned, man, because that's where some of the corruption is.
It doesn't say advisors, no.
You know, we can have an unlimited amount of advisors and pay them any amount of money that they want to, without you know, no limitation. Ain't nobody patrolling that at all.
That's very interesting.
So that part of the corruption is going to remain if they don't have to. You know what I mean? Because like we see, you know, the Prime Minister himself, we have like a lot of advisors, man. I mean, I mean, we need a Prime Minister that can really think and, you know, make decisions forthwith, man. You know, we see the big lights issue, how that panned out. You know, it just seems like he quaked under pressure from other people. You know, different than that, man. I want to ask a quick question before you go. You know the incentive that they put out for them to deposit money into the kids' bank account, and for them to invest in shares. You know, like the hotel that's coming, the Indigo hotel that's coming, right? You know, or the local people or the children that they so-called say that they want to invest in shares. being that this is a new initiative that they're putting forward, right? The Indigo Hotel is coming, it's new. Are they going to give these children or any local citizens like opportunities to buy into that hotel? Is that hotel a private adventure?
I think it's a CBI approved project, So I haven't seen it listed, so that'll be different. It's a CBI approved project. It's a private development.
So that's not going to be something that the children can invest in.
Not to my knowledge, no.
And if not, right? Why can't they start, making sure the locals can get a piece of the hotel and seeing that they're so big in the tourism industry, why can't the locals start owning some hotels and the federation on both islands? That's my kind of concern or my input. I'm trying to see if the locals can start getting the opportunity to buy into some of these hotels, seeing that we are so big in tourism. And that's my little output for the night, man. I'll come back again next time when you're on Thursday night.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. You always.
All right, have a good night, man. Enjoy the rest of your birthday. Thanks.
Thank you, and have a good night as well. And always thought-provoking ideas. Again, I've been looking at a very interesting question about special advisors. Whoop. No, they're not. They're not listed here. The special advisors, they're not listed here. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes. Dear then, Patrick. These people here must stop runway with the idea when they hear King Lawyer talking. The children thing when he said $1,000, wait and see if it happens, because he is just full of talk, and no action. The man, every time he opens his mouth, is a lie coming out. So tell them, please, wait until it happens, and then they can speak about it. But don't speak about it right now, because that's another lie again. Have a good night.
Have a good night as well, my dear sister. And as we do our wrap for tonight, good evening, Patches and Straight Talk family. Reads this email. Reflecting on the past, it's remarkable to consider the transformative journey of what was once mockingly dubbed the avocado pier by the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party members. This term, a derisive nickname for the ambitious cruise ship pier project, was coined during your tenure as minister. Little did critics know that your vision and determination would ultimately lead to the development of a pier capable of accommodating the largest cruise ships in the world. It's noteworthy to recall the challenges faced during that time, including opposition from figures like Denzel Douglas, who went as far as to write a letter urging Canadian financiers to withhold support for the pier's construction. Despite the skepticism and resistance, your unwavering commitment prevailed. Fast forward to today, and the very same individuals who once dismissed the project are now attempting to claim credit for its success. The irony is palpable, as those who initially opposed the pier are now attempting to rewrite history, conveniently forgetting their lack of faith in its potential. Their attempt to claim the pier's success exposes a certain short-sightedness within the St. Kitts Labour Party's leadership, showing a stark absence of foresight and vision. Your foresight, on the other hand, it serves as your foresight, on the other hand, beg your pardon, has not only proven them wrong, but also positioned the region as a hub capable of hosting the world's largest cruise ships. The transformation from the avocado pier debacle to a world-class cruise ship pier stands as a testament to your vision and leadership. It serves as a reminder that progress, when requires bold decisions and a steadfast commitment to a vision, even in the face of opposition, as the current state of the peer speaks for itself, it's essential to recognize and appreciate the positive impact it has on the region, all thanks to your forward-thinking approach and determination. Thanks a lot for that information, my Straight Talk family. And I would share that letter come on our next program. That was written to the Canadian government under the pen of the then opposition leader, the office of the leader of the opposition, Dr. Denzel Douglas, wrote a letter, and I'll read it into the record come Monday. We will deal with that particular project in our next program, because I believe that it is important that we do so. But I want to thank this emailer for bringing that to the fore tonight. Yes, and we will provide that information to our Straight Talk family on Monday, God's willing. But as we wrap tonight's program, we looked at the caption, Mountain Debt, Deep Division, but No Plan. And my Straight Talk family, in a nutshell, we looked at the debt, our mountain debt, which is combined over $1 billion. And Nevis, on its own, with just 25% of the population, has over 45% of the debt. Very interesting and precarious position. But in 2015, along with 192 other countries, St. Kitts and Nevis adopted the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs as they're called, as an overarching policy roadmap through 2030. These goals derive from the concept that economic growth must go hand in hand with social inclusion and protection of the environment if we are going to achieve a sustainable future. No new taxes, the Minister of Finance would have boasted in December in his 5-hour diatribe. So our main source of revenue comes from the lucrative trade in passports. Non-tax revenue is over 55% of the revenue we generate in St. Kitts and Nevis. But this revenue is forever under threat from the European Union, from Canada, the USA, and the United Kingdom, to name a few. So problems will therefore arise when debt is already high and the resources are not well spent or spent well. And worse yet, there is this prevalence, there is this presence of corruption, bad governance, lack of transparency, and no accountability. And then there is this division. Nobody wants to grow up. At least this current leader is so immature that even before thinking, he would make statements like this one, my Straight Talk family, which is so boyish statement, little boy statement, as I said, my Straight Talk family, when he would make a statement like this one. When the world is on fire and we just cannot rule out our option, especially with all this going on in politics today. And when he would make a statement like this one, my straight dog family, it tells you of the level of intellect, political intellect, I must dare add.
Timothy Harris was in the Labour Party, outside of politics or anything else. This is somebody who would be very difficult to sit down with, to negotiate. And I know I cannot sit to negotiate with.
Cannot sit down with Timothy Harris, according to him. But my straight dog family, he sits down with the snake Mark Brantley from Nevis. But he has no choice because Dr. Drew's cabinet is divided. No matter how he pretends, Dr. Drew's disrespect to Denzel Douglas, he will never forget. So there's a deep division in the Labour Party. Remember, Douglas said this.
What is disrespectful to me is that people want me to go and contest. With them, I am not contesting with anyone. It has never happened in our party before. For the 90 years of the party, no leader has been challenged in that way. And it is not going to start with me. If people can say that they would want me to support in that way for the extra 6 months, then I prefer not to be there. And so I ask you to consider what I have said. I wanted to clarify this matter because I think it is totally disrespectful when people are saying, oh, Douglas must go. Douglas wants to stay here forever. This is what is being said by our own comrades around. And I feel very, very disrespected when people will make statements of that kind. Of course, you can say you don't want Douglas. You can have someone else. But to say that I want to stay here forever and I must go and that kind of nonsense, I feel disrespected because I don't think it is necessary and I don't think it is true at all.
Yes, disrespected. Almost nigh 32 years as the leader. So there's a deep division in the party as the old and new Labour are at war. Douglas can never forget the snake Mark Brantley, who accused him of being arrested or being detained at Gatwick Airport in London.
They say a passenger traveling outbound from Gatwick to Dubai on Emirates EK010 was detained with a large amount of cash. The passenger did not declare the cash. They ended up with a total of 78,000 US in cash, 9,000 pounds in cash, and 2,000 EC. Mr. Speaker, I have not been known to come in this house with foolishness, you know. I don't practice that. This money was seized at Gatwick Airport under the provisions of the Proceeds of Crime Act. They said the passenger with the cash was identified through his passport as Mr. Denzel Llewellyn Douglas.
My straight dog family, Douglas does not support the strategy of Drew in this love affair with the snake Mark Brantley. And Drew must take heed. He must take the advice from Dr. Douglas, who warned us. Dr. Douglas warned us about that snake Mark Brantley, my straight dog family. And we all remember this.
Only you have sense. Nobody else in this parliament has sense. It bothers me because there is no need for that kind of arrogance. He's the most intelligent person in the world. He's the most sensible person in the world. He's the richest parliamentarian in the world. It's a glimpse of the nature of the member for Nevis. Arrogant, pompous, talking down to people. And that's not a good attitude for a politician. You need to change your attitude. You need to stop talking ill of people.
arrogance of the snake Mark Brantley, well documented by Dr. Douglas. But through all of this, the Drew Labour administration has no plan, no vision on the way forward. All Dr. Drew has, it seems, is an addiction to blame the Team Unity administration for all his shortcomings. As we speak, thousands of poor people are not benefiting from the PAP. Yes, the slow student, Jeffrey Hanley, ended the PAP in December 2022 and said he was going to amend it.
I use this opportunity to indicate that all eligible existing recipients of the Poverty Alleviation Program PAP are mandated to reapply by completing the application form by December 16, 2022. Failure to do so would mean that your payment will cease effective December 31st, 2022. I wish to notify the general public that the mending of the PAP will commence from January 2023.
And how did he mend the PAP? The slow student, Jeffrey Hanley, kicked 40% of those eligible for the $500. He kicked them off the PAP. And this was reported by his permanent secretary in social development, Azila Clark.
We paid on the 30th of June, I'll get that number for you, 5,361 households are receiving PAP at this time. Remember, when we closed applications in December, 11,639 applied. Of that number, 8,985 were eligible. All right? And so that now, if you take 5,361 from that number, it's over 60% of the applications are being paid. I know for some persons being in the 40%, to them it's unfair.
It must be unfair. But the slow student then moved on, having left some 5,000 or some 3,000, almost 4,000 persons who have qualified. Mark you, they have qualified, but he left them off for some unknown reason. Then the slow student, Jeffrey Hanley, launched the largest housing development ever in St. Kitts and Nevis, and left out the poor people who are in the greatest need for shelter. My Straight Talk family.
Today, as the Minister responsible for housing and human settlement, I am pleased to formally announce that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and National Housing Corporation NHC has signed a contract with East Coast Housing Development, a Trinidadian-based developer, to finance and deliver 2,400 affordable smart homes over a period of 4 years, 600 of which will be made available each year.
And 2 years coming up, and not one house has been completed. Did you hear the slow student Jeffrey Hanley say affordable smart homes? Ask his aristocratic friend what he means by affordable and smart. My Straight Talk family.
This is the solution for persons who are bankable and can take a mortgage loan from a credit union or a bank, and they can purchase their one-bedroom house for $111,000, a two-bedroom for $213,000, and a three-bedroom for $197,000.
Bankable. That's what's smart about them. That's what's affordable about them. But as we wind down, take a look, quick glance at agriculture. It's worse. We talk about food security. But what has Samuel Duggins did about our $200 million food import bill. What has he done to date, my Straight Talk family? That's the question we ask him.
As I look around the room, I see stakeholders from different sectors. Some of you farmers, some of you bishop folk, some of you representing agencies that do research, some of you representing universities, some of you representing businesses that all thrive on the basis of agriculture. And if we take the time to understand that, we get down to the importance of why we're here today. And as we stand here today, talking about CARICOM's 25 by 2025 agenda, our food bill stands at $190+ million. And if we do a simple mathematical equation, we recognize that 25% of that is somewhere near 50 million. And the essence of what we are here discussing today is how we can share $50 million amongst all of them. My job here as the Minister of Agriculture is to ensure that that $50 million is going to you. But how do we do it?
That's a good question. How do we do it? Samuel is confused. Because how does he do it? He grows money on trees, my Straight Talk family. This is how he does it.
Marijuana industry, as we've heard, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And we have been dragging at a snail's pace in getting involved. And I could not understand for the life of me why. Literally growing money on trees. But yet somehow, we don't want to participate. But I dare say, that era is over. And it's now a new day. And a better way. So in 2023, expect a vibrant, thriving marijuana industry. Literally growing money on trees.
Yes, a big joke. Because we are literally growing money on trees in his mind. But 2023 has gone, my Straight Dog family. But let's see what happens with our food bill as the year progresses. And this final email I will dispense of my Straight Dog family reads, Patches, this joint meeting of cabinet is a big joke. Mark Brantley is the leader of the opposition and he was present. What about the other members of the opposition, like Sean and Timothy? Did Mark Brantley brief them on what was discussed? For they have a right to know also. Mark Brantley must resign as the leader of the opposition. This is causing too many conflicts. For if he is going to be present at all joint cabinet meetings, then all the other members of the opposition should be present also. This is a big joke, stupid and funny, reads that email. And this other email reads, Patches, you believe Labour government can hold 600 smart homes per year, totaling to 2,400 smart homes in 4 years? By the looks of things, they're dragging at snail's pace with not even one completed in their second year. Dr. Joe is a big joke, reads this email. And that's going to do it for the emailers, my Straight Talk family. And that's going to do it for us as well. Because as we conclude, it is simple, very simple, when we reflect on what's going on in our country. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to conclude that we are in a quagmire, fiscal quagmire in this country. Some people talk about the IMF. Some people say other things. But my Straight Talk family, I say that this is not a government founded on a vision to achieve specific goals, but rather founded on a vision to be in government by any means necessary, including lies, corruption, lack of transparency, and no accountability. And the sooner we can get rid of them, then we will be better able to address our frightening situation of mounting debt, deep division, but no plan. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I'm not going to change it. But I thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many listeners all over the world. We live in one global village, so I reach you in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, and of course, all over North America. And my Straight Talk family, I want to remind you as well, those who called and those who sent emails, those who listened, all of you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd, and God's willing, we will connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. And again, for those who extended best wishes on my Earth Day yesterday, I thank you profusely. But until we connect on Monday, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Remember that on the weekend, do your rest, do your chores, but find some time to praise Almighty God. I'll do on Sunday. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye until we connect on Monday.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees, the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg Him to take me through each day, my guardian to keep and my guide, over every step I take, He will preside. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. My way, with strength and courage from above, no man I'll fear, since God protects me with His love. Strong, pure and true, and so sincere, 'cause my knees I'll always stay to the Lord in prayer. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good,